to load up. I don't want to, you know, start too abruptly. Abruptly. There's YouTube going. There's Twitch popping up. Hopefully, it says it is. I will. What time is it? 10. Yeah, it's decent time to stream. What? What is in my Discord? YouTube is still starting, apparently. Actually, that video I posted last night did well. Cool. Why has it got the wrong thumbnail? Sorry, I thought I'd set all of this up. Okay. You know what, let's just go. I've just imported Steam VR. I'm locking myself in. I said this is going to be a PC VR game. I meant it. We've got the whole interaction system, luckily. Is this the right one? I think so. I haven't used this much. I understand it very slightly. I understand the input system. I don't understand the hands. That's what we're messing with today. I guess we can start by just getting a simple player in. So we're going to find their camera rig, which is under something. This. See what we need. Hi, Ewan. How's it? Oh, my screen's just closed. That's fun. Oh, Steam VR's opening. That's fine. Okay, this is their basic camera rig. It has the Steam VR camera helper set to both eyes. That's easy enough. The controller, I believe this model just takes the whichever device you're using. I could load into VR. I'll do that in a minute and look into that. I don't know what these indexes are. I think that's when it changes. So, okay, when these devices like change what their index is in terms of Steam VRs, I don't fully get it. I'm just rattling. Behavior poses. I'm pretty sure I can bring up the Steam VR docs. That's probably the best way to go about this. We have the quick start. The interaction system is what we'll probably be looking into the most today. But let's look at the inputs. I think pose. Yeah, pose. Pose actions are representations of position and rotation. So that's going to track your controllers, your headset, blah, blah, blah. The skeleton is about where the estimation of your fingers in terms of where your controller is. So we can use that for mapping. I think they already have a hand pose system. So we don't need to worry about that unless it doesn't work with VRIK. Have a look. Interaction system core prefabs. I think they're the render models. The render model is these prefabs. Yeah. Yes, so we have these behavior skeletons. Needs to be in order. Yeah, that's fine. Range of motion I've messed with before. Update pose. So okay, that's probably what we would be using. We want to update the pose ourselves because we'll want to be mapping it to an IK hand. Only set rotation. Check this is not set the position of the bones. Okay, we're not doing that. And then modify this blend that between animations up on there. Yeah. Okay. And then they just have an animator with what does it have on it? Oh, it has animations. Are these all mapped to the same skeleton? Yeah, kind of. The skeleton, I think skeleton is more of like an input, so it gives the values for grabbing things, if I'm reading that correctly. Oh, here you go, we can read more. Skeleton input. Seeing your physical controllers in VR is nice, but what people really want to see is their hand as VR controllers advance. We're seeing wildly different capabilities. Skeleton input gives you one API to get per joint data for all these different types of devices. And then, so that means that for the index controllers, we get, the data for every single finger, but they also estimate them for, say, Oculus controllers. If you press the grip, it does the 3 fingers. I can show you this in action in a minute. But yeah, this is the data we actually get from the skeleton. But then on top of that, I can show you by setting one up, to be fair. If I go to the interaction sample scene, yeah, I spent hours in here when I was learning Unity. Um, if we go to Harbinger models, let's grab something that we can grab. I don't know if I have anything we can grab. Miscellaneous. I know I definitely had something. When is WebGuy going to be out? I still think it probably at the end of the month is the best bet, if not the start of next month. Where are all my models? I know I have models somewhere. You know what? Let's grab this. I'm just gonna put it in a folder called old. This is from when Project Harbinger was being first developed, so it's probably massive knowing me. Yep. It's probably really badly modeled knowing me. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, not the greatest. Whatever. We just want something to hold. 0.2 makes it tiny. 0.3. 5. That'll do. Right, let's bring it up onto this table so you can see better. Let's give it some materials. Let's try and actually look at what we're doing here. I can see that through. Oh, whatever. That's probably the metallic. That's probably the normal map. Doesn't really matter that much. That was a weird color choice from me. Like a. Is that actually an emission shader or emission texture? Where is this a mission? Wait, let me turn on a mission and see what it's actually doing here. Go to... Oh, okay, I see. These little lines here. They're a missive, apparently. Okay. So what was I rambling about? Oh yeah, we're going to set up an interactable. So if you look at these, this is where I kind of learned to make these. And that's where you get these skeleton poses. So you have an interactable, make it throwable. Then Steam VR poser. Cool. I should probably make a folder called poses. I don't remember how that works, but pretend I do for now. Harbinger assets. Harbinger. No. Harbinger. Poses. Or there we go. Okay. So this is where you map the actual pose. And I believe you just click on here. I I want to say that root is where it actually kind of holds where that's kind of snapping. So if I put it there, that's where the controller would be trying to, you know, reach. And then we can move this, pose it around. It doesn't need to be perfect. I'm just trying to prove a point. Holding a weapon, you don't want to be like... This is going to be massive, I think, as well. But if you look at the size of the hand compared to the sword. It's also going to be the wrong direction, but I really don't care. Now in terms of... Okay. There's some movement and blending. We're not messing with that. Let's just pose this really awfully then. Okay, it's mostly just that tip that's splayed right now, like that. Is there a fourth bone? I'll do for that finger. The index finger. This does have 4 bones, I believe. We can actually get a bit more range. It kind of look like he's pinching it if I don't adjust it right. That should do. Mess up a bit more. That probably needs to go back a bit. Maybe not. Said I was going to do this so awfully. I'm putting so much effort into it. That looks alright. Could be better. The metacarpal bones to be a bit more further back, but I'm trying to think of how I would actually hold a sword. I don't think that is how I would. Whatever. Is the metacarpal bone the one that will control that splay? I think so. Just the pinky, and then I can show that I will actually hop into VR. Show you what we're working with, I guess. we go. A bit of a grab. Not the nicest. Have the pinky out like a true gen. Okay, okay, okay. I can just go like this. There we go. Pinky out. Lovely. And then the best part about this hand pose is you can just copy the right hand pose to the left hand, and it copies it entirely. You can see all the right angles. Very nice. I need to make sure this has some colliders. That could do. This sword was not modelled with this in mind. It's amazing. I'm glad you said that. It's gonna be on the floor if I don't make some space for it. Let's put it over here with the velocity throwing. So that's the other thing, right? Is this interaction system has some interesting things. Like, okay, right now it would hide the hand on attach. We don't want that. Hand animation on pickup. I don't know. Actually, I think I do. I think that's in terms of. You remember when I was freaking out about this? I think that's what it is, but we're not messing with that. Range of motion on pickup. We want it to be none, because otherwise they'd be able to blend their fingers in with it. Hand object attachment point. Specify whether you want to snap to the hand's object attachment point or just the raw hand. So I'm assuming under the hand object attachment point. There you go. What I'm trying to find though, the rendered hand lock on to and follow the transform. That's what we like. Highlight and hover, sure. Hover priority doesn't matter. Is it under the throwable? Oh yeah, it is. Okay. So these attachment flags. So you can set it to detach from the other hand. So that means when you try and grab it with the other hand, it attaches. Parent to hand. It parents the object to the hand. Velocity movement. We're going to turn that on. We're not going to turn on kinematic. We're going to allow side grade because it's weird when it doesn't. Detach from others. I don't know what. Oh, like okay, if you were grabbing it out of like a socket, I think. And then all of this, I'm not bothered by right now. Okay. It's actually a box collider, so we can stand it up like this, and it shouldn't cause any issues. Let me hop into VR. Oh shit! I forgot to generate my bindings. Yeah, please generate for me. That would have caused me such a headache if I hadn't. Wait for it to compile. I'll turn on my controllers while it's doing that. Hello, Froggle. Save and generate. That should do. See you guys chatting there all the time. When did Diu say it was going to be? Because I'll just agree with him. Four months. That's when it is. Okay, we should be good to go into VR now. Oh shit, my controller's almost dead. You are. Oh, we're in the floor. This is a good start. Oh, we got some pink controllers. Beam. How close to dead is it? 8%. Wow. thought about that before I started streaming. Specifically, development where I'm in VR. We're gonna spend most of the time now not in VR. Okay, I'm opening OVR so I can get myself out of the ground. There we go. The controllers keep vibrating. Very off-putting. Okay. So, skeleton. Let me show you the skeleton. That was one of the things. We want with controller. And we're going to show the controller. There you go. So now you can see the input mappings. That's working. Even that. See the individual fingers. For the Oculus, it would just be doing 3 at a time. Where have all these shaders gone? Anyway, here's the hand posing. You can see that you could have little, like, so if this was a gun, you could have the trigger. These don't have collision. I think these have some collision. No, they don't. Oh. And let's just look at R1. Okay, that's where I messed up. So the root is the object you're not meant to move. Am I hitting that on myself? VRing. So, oh, you you have the emote. Let me just see if I can find a charger for this controller. That's my mouse. That's my headphones. Unplug the headphones. I'm not using those. I'll just keep the headset on my head. Cool. Guess that this USB-C will work. Yeah, that looks like a valve wire. Should get a charging dock for these, so I don't forget. We're charging. Okay. Let's fix the hand pose. Move this. So, where were we? This hand, we messed up by moving the root. So if we come back here to the sword, this object, I don't think we're meant to move. Oh no, even if we're not, maybe it's the wrist. That looks a bit more like what it was. Let's see what these do. The left hand. So this object can be moved. The root you can rotate, and the wrist you can move. So the root is what we don't want to be moving. Let's try it without. Okay, let's come over here. Let's come to the root. Let's reset the position. Reset the position on the wrist as well, because I don't trust it. And let's just move the hand like this. Alright. If not, maybe like a little rotation like that. And we just need to make sure that's mirrored on the left hand. See how that is. Hear me moving back and like my mic gets weird, it's because I have one base station and it is really far back. Oh, we got sound effects now. We're still getting an issue here. Don't really know why. They do be sounding. Don't tell me what to do, SteamVR. I don't know if that popped up on stream, it just told me not to play with them plugged in. Look. So we've got the same rotation on the root. The wrist 0, 0. I don't know why this is happening. I've definitely dealt with this before. I just don't remember how I fixed it. Does this actually look like it's been moved? Maybe you're not meant to move that. You're definitely not meant to move that. Okay, let's try not moving it in the hand. Set that. The root is rotated 180 degrees. Let's just move the wrist bone. I already find out what I'm meant to be doing on the docs as well if this doesn't work. I'm pretty sure they have a written tutorial. Save that pose. We've already been live for 25 minutes. Still no. This is weird. Usually I can work this out pretty quickly. It's probably something stupid. I can almost guarantee that. Keeps unplugging. Okay. Let's open this up. Skeleton poser. Let's read through. Static free contract, blah blah blah, using skeleton poser in the interaction system. You can use it with your own framework, which is probably what we're going to be doing later. No, okay, we're watching the video. And you'll never guess who posted this. The guy who inspired this game in the first place. Wooohooooo. Can I stream this without being copyrighted, or should I be like just skim through? I don't want to like have to get a strike or something.
But for some,
we'll just slowly.
the skeleton, just open up the hierarchy underneath your interactable object, and you can see this VR glove skeleton has been added to it. You can go in and edit these bones.
Which, okay. What are we doing differently? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. We'll just go through piece by piece. Find the parts we need. You know, let's look at the one in the example video. I do wonder what modal throwable means. I think it's to do with these offsets, because when you grab it using your trigger, it has this pinch offset. I think it's something to do with that. Because, okay, yeah, you can see there's two poses. This is for pinching, and this is for when you just grab it. Actually, looking at the pinch one might help us see what we're allowed to move. See, this it's definitely able to move the actual glove itself. Not meant to move this. The root stays at 0, 0. The wrist looks like you can move as well. So, okay. The glove seems to be set to this like top point. I don't think that has anything to do with it. It does. Is that kind of where it's being grabbed from? No, because then if that's there like that, it's weird. Okay, let's try setting up our own pose for one of the other objects. Like let's say, um, what primitives do we have access to? Let's make a pose for a cylinder. So we'll size this down. Interactable cylinder. Put it over here next to our sword. Give it a convex mesh collider because it's a cylinder and they give them weird colliders. Make it interactable with a pose. Create Harbinger poses. Cylinder grab. Cool. Okay. So let's set our generic point to be like here. And then with our wrist, do this. Let's make it grab slightly weird because that's fun. The index finger. I don't know if there's any like Steam VR Discord servers like for support and shit. I don't think there is. I'm sure I'd be able to find some information somewhere, but I don't think there's like one main hub for it anymore. Like there probably was years ago. Steam VR's kind of died down in terms of development. I see the odd person using it, but not as actively as a couple of years ago when every single tutorial on YouTube was download the Steam VR SDK and then pop down Unity. Instead, now it's mostly the Unity XR plugin that people seem to be using, which don't get me wrong, is decent. It's more beginner friendly, but I also don't think it's as expansive as Steam VR, especially for PC VR, because we get the index controller stuff, which is something I think is really important. There's however many thousands of people that have have an index or just the controllers, and there's not that many games even on Steam VR that utilize it. I think that's a bit of a missed opportunity, and that is why I am focusing on it. All right, let's go out to VR. I've forgotten to make it not hide the controller. That's under interactable. We're still not getting the right pose. To clear my mind, I'm gonna go play with the JoJo. Where is he? How do I fix this? This is odd. This is very odd. What a gentleman, yes. This top hat. Can I not rotate the wrist? Is that the problem? Because I'm rotating it here. No, they're rotating the wrist. They're rotating this object as well. What settings do we have different? Hide controller attach, use hand object attachment point, and follow transform. R's. Do not want to hide the hand on attack. We'll hide the controller, use attachment point. It's see-through. Let's have the throttle back. Maybe we shouldn't be parenting it, but I don't think that's the issue. Try not parenting it. See how that goes, I guess. This is being temperamental today. Back to the I'm gonna put it on my other monitor in case it gets me problem. Set up a attack or a pose in this video. That would be handy. Handy. I think it's hand poses. That's funny. I'm gonna explain what I'm looking at while we're looking over here. Setting the attachment flags to not parent to the hand, snap it on attach, and to turn off gravity. The attachment offset is set to something. I didn't see what though. Gonna start posing the hand now, so let's see what specific things get posed. So first he moved the actual hand, like the glove, right model, same thing, to match. Okay. This is major free period, I'm glad to hear it. Still don't think I'm meant to be posing the wrist. I know there's one that I swear I'm not meant to be posing, but okay. Let's remember these numbers: 44, 176, 8, 3, and let's see if it's the same on, say, this ball one. 76, 8.3. I think that that's not meant to change. There you go. You see, that's the pose we're getting right now. So we are meant to be posing this alone. The issue was that when we were testing the other one, and I was like, oh, you're not meant to pose the wrist, let's, you know, not. I was already messing with. I'd already messed with it once, and I reset the transform to be 0, which then was still posing the wrist. Besides the broken throwable. There we go. Let's do velocity movement. Turn off gravity, allow side grade, and snap on attach. That should work. There we go. So, in theory, let's assume that that's our first one. Let's prove our point that this is now fine. Let's make a grab pose where it looks like we are grabbing it from the top. Thunder grab. So, where are we? So we're moving and rotating this object to get our kind of base position. We've got to remember that when we're actually making things. Lucky for us, we have a whole interaction system to build before we can do this. Built a full interaction system once. I think I'm mostly going to be building off of Steam VR. And then just adjusting it so that I can use IK for the player body. Which I haven't really considered the fact that I don't have an IK rig or like a player rig yet. Which kind of making me think that we don't need to bother with that today. We can just use Steam VR's interaction system and get set up with a player controller. That might be what we do. Phone does not move like that. Just a bit. Get the pose. This doesn't really matter. I'm more doing this just to prove a point. Now that we've had one working. It's also quite relaxing to just make these little poses. I'm sure it'll become tedious after doing it for hundreds of hours, but let's ignore that for now and just enjoy it while it lasts. There we go. That's our right hand grabbing the top, I think. Yep. Overwrite that pose for the left hand. Save it. Into VR for the last time for a minute before we take a bit of a breather. So we should be able to still grab from the side, but if we grab from the top. Oh, okay. I was wrong. I thought it automatically guessed which pose would work best. It does, and it's just like bad rotation. Let's see. We got cylinder grab top, cylinder grab. This one has like a pinch pose based on this, I think, on this modal. Horrible. I'm not entirely wrong. Yeah, if you see here, when it's attached, it has this blending behavior, which isn't automatically guessing it as far as I can see. This has squeezing. This has also a squeeze, which is based on the squeeze action. So maybe that isn't, that's like the kind of thing we'd need to implement ourselves, which is fair enough. I was just pretty certain I had already seen a way to do it. Let's look at the interaction system. This works by sending messages to any object that hand interact with. I think a lot of what I'm going to do, I'm just going to be going through this hand and working through it and adding what I need rather than taking their hand, building on top of it. I'm going to strip out the parts I need and put it into my own hand. Okay. I reckon that's just something we'll have to look at later then. As for proving our point, I guess we can add a blend, call it grab top. We'll make it an analog action of squeeze, which I think for the index is actually just squeezing the controller. But for like Oculus and stuff, you have to grab the object with your trigger and then pull the grab from the controller. Oh, no, I don't have enough space to grab that. We're going down. Using my controller and it's not doing it. Look. It does look like it would be working. Unless the squeeze action isn't working. That's what I'm thinking. We'll try one more before bothering to get up. Like it. But that's fine. We're not too bothered about all of that. Let's. Okay. What do we need? We need a dev scene for building our interaction system. Because that we're gonna build our own kind of. Let me let everything charge for a bit. How do I test that my audio is working? Let's just play this video again. It's not.
And
There we go. Let's go to Harbinger. We can pull this back out now. We don't need that much space. Scenes, and we will call this interaction playground. Of these, I'm not going to make anything too special. Just like a little room. Let's drag in the Steam VR player just to get a size reference. There we go. So about that big. You just make this 4 meters. All the way out. Just give us a nice amount of space. It's not even. Actually, I feel like 4 meters will feel a bit cramped when we're actually in VR, so let's go a bit. Cool. I'm just going to use all the same materials I did from before. Just kind of like build a little area. I think that's all good. Nice. Let's add a little light. Get this place feeling a bit more lively. Yeah, 5, 5, and then we'll move it up. I think that will be enough light for this room, honestly. Especially once there's a reflection probe in. This is all 5, 5, 3. That will be fine in terms of sizing. We'll box project it. Let's put a vent down. Why not? I like the vents. They're fun. Okay. Let's use some of the lighting settings from before. Okay. The stream might lag slightly when we're baking this lighting. We did not get nearly as much of a light as I thought we would from that. Oh, I know why. This isn't set as light matte static. That would do it. Right, let's try again. It's not bad. Okay, let's just have a nice little baked light in here then. Baked. There we go. We've got a bit more lighting. Still feels really empty, so let's just put like this box down in the corner. Um, that might do. Steam VR has a table, so we're just gonna take it and use that as our. Holy shit! Is that the size of the boxes? Oh my god! I didn't realize they were so big. Okay, yeah, we're gonna size these down a bit. 0.5 work, fine. That means those vents are also massive. Oh, you know, I honestly had no clue they were that big. These people are probably getting a VR mod pretty soon. That'll be fun. I might stream that. Anyway, that should be good enough for us to get started. We've got some light, we've got some little props to keep us going. I guess we'll start by building out the start of our player controller. Because we'll want to move and stuff, at least. So we'll call this Harbinger player. Get next to the Steam VR player. see what they have. They have this player, which tracks the hands and all of that. Now, what does it actually do? With methods for getting the player's hands, head, tracking origin, and guesses for various properties. Do I actually want this? I don't know. Let's grab the camera as well. That has a SteamVR play area alongside just 2 controllers and a camera. I think we're going to build from the 2 controllers and a camera. Left controller, the right controller, and then we need the camera. Set that to be SteamVR camera. What does this do? I'm intrigued. Oh, it just has to track post driver if it's using the old OpenVR API. Okay. That's fine. This will be our main camera. We'll tag this with player. But yeah, okay. We need to add behavior poses to the controllers here. This one will be left hand. This one will be right hand. I almost feel like there should be one on the camera for head, but it doesn't look like they do that. We'll add the camera save. How long have we been live? How long have we been going for? An hour? Jesus. Although that only says 40 minutes, which is weird. I might take a break and come back to this in a bit, you know. Yeah. Thanks for watching so far. We will probably back later today to finish this off. We spent so long messing with poses. Alright, have a good rest of your morning, or whatever time